Hey strong people, Kalle, Beck here from StartingStrongman.com. Go to Amazon.com/shop/StartingStrongman for recommended products, and anything you buy off Amazon, even if it's not on the list, helps Starting Strongman and myself. So, yesterday I broke the news of the World's Strongest Man events, and something I want to clarify real quick before I get into today's video is we don't know there's a max deadlift. The events list, as I said in the video, I don't know if I just wasn't clear or people hear what they want to hear or whatever. The events say stuff like loading medley, squat, deadlift overhead. Anything else, the variations that those events could be is 100% speculation. So we don't know if there's a max deadlift. I said I think it's going to be one. It would make sense, and I hope it isn't. But anyways, so the Arnold, the next stop on the qualifying tour of the Arnold, Classic World Series is the Arnold Africa or South Africa, and it's a very stacked lineup and a very heavy show. The winner of this contest, of course, qualifies for the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio in 2020. And if the person doesn't win, they keep accumulating points for those last two wildcard spots. Whoever has the most points over the whole World Series, the top two that haven't won a show, also qualify. So the pro lineup looks like it's happening May 18th. Mateusz Kieliszkowski, Jerry Pritchett, Ronald Hanla, Mikhail Shivlikov, Denis Belsak, Alexei Novikov, Jimmy Pacquiao, Yitzi Kramer, Kevin Ferris, Anthony Furman, Evan Singleton, Mohamed Astapor, Luke Reynolds, and Patrick O'Dwyer. So we have a lot at the top of the lineup. We have the usual suspects that we see at every Arnold qualifier that are usually the top athletes at every Arnold qualifier. So I'm just going to push them aside for right now and talk about that more. But what we have here is, you might not be familiar with some of these names, but you should and will be eventually, as we have three young, up-and-coming strongmen from America: Kevin Ferris, Anthony Furman, and Evan Singleton, all very talented. Some of you may have remember Evan Singleton from the Giants Live North America qualifier, where he did very well. Anthony Furman is the current 105 kilogram world's strongest man, and he's making a move up to heavyweight to try to put some legitimacy on the 105 class, and there's just not that many options at 105. And Kevin Ferris is actually qualified for World's Strongest Man. He was also at the Giants Live North America qualifier. He is also a former 105 kilogram strongman, pro, won pretty much lots of stuff at it. Very good athlete. And also, I don't know anything about Mohamed Astapor. I probably should have looked that up before. And Patrick O'Dwyer is another talented, I think he won Ireland's Strongest Man, but I could be wrong and everyone will get mad at me. But he's done a lot of the Glenn Ross's Ultimate Strongman shows. No, that's what I think he beat Lawrence Chalet at the Ultimate Strongman World Championships or whatever that contest was. I think so. This is all off the top of my memory. You can all correct me in the comments. But going on to the events, we have a max deadlift. So there is actually a max deadlift at this show. We don't know about World's Strongest Man yet, but this weekend there will be one in Arnold, South Africa. 180 kilogram farmer's walk for 20 meters. A yoke, so you have to carry a 450 kilogram yoke 10 meters, then a 550 kilogram yoke 10 meters. Have fun. Truck pole with a harness and a rope, so not arm over arm. A 220 kilogram Atlas stone for reps, and a 180 kilogram log for reps. That is ridiculous. Let's do some quick math here. 220 kilos is what, 484 pounds, I think? Yeah, and then 180 is about 400 pounds. 550 yoke is like 1,100. That's like 1,200 pounds. Jesus Christ. Yeah, 1,210 pounds. Oh, have fun, gentlemen. So let me go back through those events and think about who's not going to die. So on the so we have a max deadlift, and on that, we're going to start it off with Kielishkovsky getting in a hole on that one. It'd be interesting if some of the younger guys in it can out deadlift Matthews, like Furman or Ferris, etc. It's very possible. But he's flirting around a 400 kilogram deadlift. It just depends on how much he's putting into this, with Worlds coming up in about less than a month after this and more. And Alexei Novikov again. I want to see, because he did very well at the 18-inch deadlift at the Arnold Brazil, but not as good at the elephant bar deadlift. So maybe he's just really a lot better at standard height, at elevated heights than he is at standard height. So this will be another good test to see how Alexei Novikov his deadlift is overall. Jerry Pritchett, I think, is definitely the front runner to win the max deadlift, with Shivlikov and Hanla probably in the top 3. And then going on to Farmer's Walk, that all depends on grip. I'm going to go with Kielishkovsky and probably maybe Novikov on that. It's a tough one. Kevin Ferris actually has a very good grip. And then how heavy is that thing? 180 kilos. So yeah, 400 pounds. That's a pretty good tested grip. Jerry Pritchett, another good athlete at that yoke, 550 kilos. I'm going to go with Jerry Pritchett and Novikov, Kielishkovsky up in that range. Truck pull harness. That's tough. I'm going to say Yitzi Kramer is a big guy, and he's going to do very well at that one, throwing him out there. And Atlas Stone 220 for reps. I think Yitzi's pretty good at that. That's going in, but I think Kielishkovsky wins that. Novikov's up there. A lot of zeros in this event. Hanla's very good. It'll be a good test for Jerry Pritchett to see how well his bicep is recovered. 484-pound stone is no joke. Whew, pretty much you get a rep on that, you're doing very well. Belshak has so many injuries. He keeps doing it, but it seems tough. Luke Reynolds is actually a pretty proficient stone loader, but I think 484 is, that's damn near 500 pounds. That's kind of getting out of it. Log for reps, I got to go with Kielishkovsky and Hanla. And I think at the end of this day, I really think Kielishkovsky is going to do really well in most of the events, but it just depends on. I'm going to say he goes and wins this contest overall, just because I think he can not lose as many points with some of these younger guys, and maybe will beat some of them on a max deadlift. It also depends on what style the max deadlift ends up being, but I would not count out Shivlikov, Pritchett, or Hanla in this as well. Novikov, of course, maybe dialed it back a little bit since he's already qualified for the Arnold with his win in Brazil. So whoever wins this is looking to join Novikov, Hafthor Bjornsson, Bobby Thompson for winning the amateur, and Rob Kearney for winning Arnold Australia. Who do you think is going to win? Let me know in the comments below. And I'm going to spend a couple minutes just answering some of the comments on my last video about the World's Strongest Man events being announced. Let's go through this. So there's some talk on the last man standing stone, if it was going to be the one where they keep going in and you have to keep loading it over a bar, and the other guy goes, then 6th place goes, then 5th place. And people said that must be what it means. That could be, but I really think they called it last man standing stone last year as well, when it was just 2nd and 3rd went up against each other, head to head to see who qualified for the finals. They did that last year. I think they like that format better overall, and I think I think that's what it's going to be, is the format last year, where 2nd and 3rd going into the stones face each other to see who goes to the finals in a normal stone run, not in the you keep loading the stone over and over again And if they do that, hopefully they make it a lot heavier. It was way too light. Person says, hey Kale, given this mix they announced in the new slightly different format, who do you think in theory is going to fare better? We know Thor is the favorite, but what about others? Lisis over Kielczkowski, be more static, etc. And yeah, I say for me, if you're doing betting odds on this, Martins Lisis going into Worlds, he's on fire, getting second at the Arnold. His static strength looks better and better. Winning the Arnold Santa Monica, he just looks pretty good overall. I think he's, if you're going to go by betting odds, the second favorite going into this show, into World's Strongest Man for sure. Other people, it looks like maybe Janashia could do well again. I don't know how good his squat is. I know his deadlift's pretty good. His conditioning didn't look great at the Giant Live Finals. He looked like he put on a ton of weight, but if that's worked its way out, then with a faster show, he could do well. People are asking about concrete info on where exactly it'll be. I don't know. No one knows. I heard a rumor that a lot of the events are going to take place around the Anna Marie Island. There's all these little buffer islands, I think they're called, right off the coast of where it's at in Florida, and I heard that's a rumor, but don't hold me to it. Pretty much I just get some sort of hotel somewhere within 30 minutes. Everything's going to be 30 to 45 minutes away, and rent a car, and you're going to have to figure it out as it goes. It's going to be the first live World's Strongest Man finally. I hope you mean that's going to be the first live World's Strongest Man you're going to, because there is nothing to say that it's going to be live streamed at all. People complaining that they wish the structure of World's Strongest Man was different, and they describe it, and they pretty much describe Giants live. So you don't need to change the sport. So that's all for today. Lots of strongman news. Rogue is having the Rogue Invitational. It's a CrossFit competition this weekend as well, and that's going to include a couple record breakers for strongman and strongwomen. I know Martins is doing the Steinborn to try to break that, and Leafa Engels and Kristen Rhodes are both doing a couple record breakers, and including some sort of max circus dumbbell. Or some variant. I think it's going to be a little heavier than the 165 for 2 that they did at the Arnold, and I think they're going to be doing 2 other record breakers as well, but those aren't finalized. That's awesome news, and it puts a good spotlight on strongman and strongwoman, and I think it's great things to come, and Rogue continues to do a great job. I'm Kalle Beck. Thanks for watching and listening. If any new strongman news comes up, I will let you know. Let me know your comments in the comments below, and of course follow at Starting Strongman, follow myself at Let Kale Lift, and go to store.startingstrongman for all of your training needs. Store.startingstrongman.com, including the new program from Josh Thigpen, the latest edition of the Cube Method, one used to win the World's Strongest Logger competition earlier this year. It's called Cube Cyborg. It's available now for just $12 for the whole program, but beware, it is not an easy program. I looked through it and I was like, okay, yeah, that's a serious program. So come ready if you're doing that. But it's a interesting read, and I dare you to try to follow it.